Now, let's try to, based on all this, okay, Kant and quantum mechanics, create a theory of reality. Okay? So what's important to understand is that everything are just vibrations. Okay? That's all it is. It's vibrations. Yeah?
But I thought like quantum mechanics can only be applied on quantum, whereas we are a macro creature that is not like...
Yeah, that is correct. But quantum mechanics is the basis of reality, right? Okay? So everything are just vibrations. Now, what happens is that what we need to understand is that if it's vibrations, if it's energy, it's also information. Okay, does that make sense? All right? So what our brains do is, our brains are not independent. Our brains connect to the universe, okay? So as the universe is vibrating, we're receiving information. And then through our experiences, okay, this vibration allows us to turn it into memories. You understand? We're taking this vibrational information, we're taking our experiences, we're combining to memories. Now, this is really important. The memories now go back to the vibrational force. So our memories are connecting to the universe, and they're being stored in the universe. They're being imprinted in the universe. It's an imprint. And of course, this is no different from the internet, right? On the computer, whatever you write is being stored on the internet. So whatever you do is going to change the internet. And you receive information from the internet, okay? So you're participating in the internet, and you're part of the internet. Okay? And the same thing is happening here. Okay? So everything's vibrational. If it's vibrational, it's information. We take the information and we combine with the experience to turn into memories. The memories then go back to the universe. And so it's as though we can implant ourselves into the universe. Okay? Now, this is hard to understand. So what we've done is every single culture has turned this knowledge into a story that is easy for people to understand. Okay? So I'm going to tell you this story. And this story, this framework, I'm actually using Dante, okay? All right, Dante. What does Dante tell us about the universe? Okay, just a monad. The one, God, who knows, okay? But it's a source of everything. And so what he does is he vibrates. He emanates, he thinks, he breathes. And this creates vibrational force, right? And this vibrational force creates new forces called dyads. Dyads are pairs. And when the pairs come together and vibrate, they create new things, okay? So this is how creation happens, through vibration, through the combination of different forces, okay? Now, what's important to understand is that as the dimensions go lower, the frequency decreases. So at high, it's really fast, right? It's like, ah! Okay? When it goes low, it becomes low frequency, oh, okay? And eventually, you get a point where matter can be created, okay? So this is spirit, this is matter, and this is the world that we live in. Okay? So now the question then is, why is the universe set up in this way? And it has to do with the fact that the universe, the monad, strives for newness, for imagination, for freshness. The problem, though, is that in the spirit world, everything is perfect. Everything is eternal. Everything is immutable. And so by definition, you can feel no pain. You cannot suffer. You cannot make any mistakes. Therefore, you cannot have any new experiences. Therefore, you cannot have any imagination. So we humans exist in order to solve this problem. We humans are corporal, which all it just means is we have bodies, okay? If you have bodies, you get old, you bleed, you get hurt, you fall down, Okay? You feel anger, you feel hate. But this allows us to have an imagination. And the imagination allows the universe to grow, to expand, to vibrate. Okay? That's our function. To have experiences that are new, which expands the consciousness of the universe. The universe itself is consciousness. All right. So, for this system to work, there have to be some guiding principles to this universe. The first and most important principle is the principle of free will. Without free will, this system cannot work. If you do what you're supposed to do, you can't have imagination, okay? So you have to disobey. You have to make your own choices. You have to make your own mistakes. And this is what allows the universe to imagine. Okay? But the problem then is, if you have free will, how do you know you're doing good? How do you know you're doing evil? And the answer is the idea of love. Okay? So the monad is the totality of love. We are a part of the monad. Okay? We're part of the monad. And so there's a spark of the monad in us called love. And so when we do good, we feel good because the love, the spark, is growing in us. And it's almost like a magnet, okay? We want to return to the monad. And so we do good because it makes us feel good and allows us to return to the monad. But sometimes, because we live in a world of free will, we make mistakes. Okay? We might hurt someone, or we might traumatize someone, in which case we feel anger. And then this becomes a vicious cycle, okay? So now there's another system set up to ensure we don't get trapped by our hate. And this system is called death. Okay? In this system, death is release. It prevents us from forever making mistakes. Because you could have a terrible life, right? But it's okay because then you go die, you go back into the universe, and now you can observe everything that you did, okay? You can see all the pain you've caused, you can see all the good that you've done. And so you become wiser. And then you come back and you live another life. And again, you can make the same mistakes over and over, but you can also improve, okay? Now, the other thing to remember about the system is that it's our choice whether to create love or hate. Now, love goes back to the monad. But what happens when you create hate? Well, you need to store it somewhere, so it goes into lower dimensions, okay? Hate. All right? So we create new dimensions through hate, through anger, through fear, through bad emotions that cannot return to the spirit world because the spirit world is perfect. And so this is called hell. And this is called heaven. Okay? And this is how the universe is set up. Okay? So I'm just taking the literal reality and turning it into the metaphorical reality, which becomes the basis of all early religions. Okay? So there are different metaphors that we can use to understand this system. But let's look at one from Hinduism and one from Dante, okay? So in Hinduism, there's a metaphor that's very powerful. And the metaphor is that in the house of the god Indra is one of the most powerful gods of India, there's all these pearls that float, okay? And what do pearls do? They reflect other pearls. And what happens is this, because there's a spark in us, if one of our sparks grows bright, all the other pearls grow bright as well. Okay? So literally, because God is inside of you, because there's a spark inside of you, because you're capable of love, when you do love, you're capable of changing the entire universe. because your love expands outward and your love reflects in other people as well. Okay? So Dante uses the idea of mirrors. There's a candle, there's a flame, and we're all mirrors that reflect the candle. Okay? God is the candle, we're just the mirrors. But every one of us, no matter how far we are from God, His flame burns in us. Okay? So you could be far away and you could feel as though God has forgotten you, but there's still the flame inside you. Okay? So for Dante and for our early civilizations, God is love forever, okay? Eternal love. But God is also eternal compassion, eternal forgiveness. God will never forgive you. God will never forget you, okay? He will always forgive you. But you have to believe in God to return to God. You have to live a life of righteousness, of love, of compassion, of imagination if you want to return to God, okay? So that's how the universe is set up. We are here, our divine mission is to expand the consciousness of the universe. And we do that by embracing love and by imagining the world to be a better place. Okay?